Hi, Hayden here, and this video is part of my series on education. This one here should be kind of short because the subject is high school, and in the United States, the high school experience is pretty much paid for by the government through taxation. I don't know what it is in every part of the world. I never really studied that. I don't intend to research it. But in the United States, our high school education is pretty much at no cost to the student. So with that, what I really want to talk about is that high school is when we need to decide, as young people, we need to decide how much more education, in what direction, where, what, when, and how we want to go forward after high school. So all during that time when you're earning your high school diploma, you need to determine how much more education you want to do and in what field you want to do it in. Let me use myself as an example, and I really hit on a rather important point here at the end of that. I love photography. I love still photography. As a child, I won recognition with some still photography that I had done, some black and white images that I had taken. So I really enjoy like the whole darkroom experience. I enjoy all that stuff. It's very fascinating to me. So for me, photography was a very interesting thing. I became in my life a professional videographer, and I've been working as a self-employed professional videographer since 1992. So even though I love still photography, videography or video production is the field that I had worked in. Now the niche market, depending on where you're from, that I work in is litigation support. Now video for the legal profession in this fashion really didn't exist when I was in high school. It just wasn't even possible. Now movies and film and things of that nature that translated into being demonstrative evidence for a court case, that probably existed, but a videographer to record a deposition or something like that, it didn't exist. The technology just wasn't there. So with that, my entire career field was something I could not have planned for because it didn't exist. And I want you to keep that open mind as you think about future educational development and future career perspectives for yourself. You may like an area. The area might open up into other things that are simply not possible today, but will be further down the road. So with that, that's the important key here. Even though high school is paid for, you need to keep yourself aware of the budgeting, the cost, the direction and focus that you want to have going forward after high school. Now I use the 3 key points that I'll mention a number of times in this series, and they are motivation, dedication, and determination. Motivation gets us started on our process. If we don't have the dedication to that focus, then we're going to kind of lose it and drop out and go on to some other direction. We're going to be remotivated by something else and go off in another direction. But the motivation gets us started. The dedication is what allows us to make it over the first couple of hurdles, but only raw determination is going to see us through to the end. And that's what's vital for us to understand as early as we can, because we need to develop the ability to have that determination to see things through to the end. And in all honesty, my thought about a bachelor's degree in the first place has always been that it's always a big thing for an employer to find somebody who not only has the knowledge and experience, but simply by having the dedication, motivation, and determination to finish a bachelor's degree in the first place, tells an employer that you have the stamina to stick with it and get the job done. So that's a pretty important aspect. I think it's true. I don't know for sure because I've been self-employed since 1992, but I tend to think that's part of the whole process. It's also part of the stigma why somebody might hold a GED at a lower value than a high school diploma for somebody who sat through 4 years of classroom instruction. The next video in this series is going to talk about the GED, so I won't go any further into that. What I want to mention is the fact that I graduated high school a year and a half early. Both of my sisters, my older sisters, graduated high school in 3 years because they put their heads to the books and they got the job done, and they did the hard work. They had the education, they had the motivation, they had the dedication, they had the determination to get the job done, and both of them graduated high school in just 3 years. I graduated in 2.5, but I kind of took a shortcut because I took the GED exam while I was still in high school, and that allowed me to graduate a half a year earlier than either one of them. I'm pretty proud of that, but still, it was kind of a sneaky way to do it, in my own opinion. Now with that, I want to take a couple of minutes and talk about the technology of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, why and how here, because I'm going to mention something about the GED video that you're going to see next, which I actually already shot and edited and have ready to upload to YouTube, which is why I want to get this one done so I can upload it first. You notice these cameras behind me, so I have cameras available to shoot video at a professional level with all kinds of manual settings and things of that nature. I am using my cell phone. I'm using my ZTE Axon 7. This is an Android device, and I'm using Open Camera software. Now, Open Camera software is available in the Google Play Store. It's free of charge and there's no advertising in it whatsoever, and it's free to use. Open Camera software, as of the time of making this video, that I know of, will only record to the internal storage that came default with the phone. So with that, I have to record on that internal storage on the cell phone rather than the additional 128 gigabyte card that I have installed. However, the internal recording software will not recognize an external microphone. Open Camera software recognizes the external lavalier microphone. This particular microphone that works well with this setup is the Rode RODE SmartLav Plus microphone, and I have a 20-foot extension cord attached to that to give me a little bit of freedom of motion on the back end over here, because this microphone cable alone is not long enough to reach the phone where it's at from here where I'm standing. So with that, it's a Rode microphone. The 20-foot extension cable is the Rode SC1. That's Sierra Charlie 1, or S as in Sam, C as in Charlie, the number 1. That's a 20-foot extension cord. The phone is the ZTE Axon 7. I'm using the front-facing camera, and I'm using Open Camera software to get the job done. Now, I just want to give you the disclaimer. Nobody's paying me any consideration for mentioning their products and applications or anything like that. I'm just telling you what I'm using because it works well together, okay? So I'm just sharing that information with you, and nobody had to pay me anything to get that job done. So with that, the next video is going to be about the GED, and I want to talk about something about Open Camera and what I did in the GED video. This video in particular, I have it on all manual settings. I have the ISO set to 100. That's the lighting kind of stuff. I set the brightness on the for the video that's going to be recorded to what I thought would look good, a manual setting. So there should be no flickering, there should be no white balancing or anything going on in the background. This video should look the same pretty much consistently all the way through. The GED video that I shot earlier that you'll see next, that video I accidentally selected automatic settings. When I set the automatic to let the camera decide what looks right, you may notice flickering in that video. And I kind of hope you notice it. I noticed it when I was editing it together, and I hope that you pick it up too, because that's part of my continuing education, training, and experience, what I'm all about here. That's part of my process in making sure that I shoot quality video without that kind of flickering thing going on in the background. I don't like it, and I don't think that you should have to sit through it either. Good news is it's a short video. So with that, the next video that I'm going to make, the next video that in this series is about the GED, and then the series video after that is going to be in reference to the associate degree or the local community college or whatever the equivalent is in whatever part of the world you're in. So until I catch you in the next video, take care and be well.